How did you get involved with the Arts and Business Council, and why?
Oh gee, a long time ago, my graphic design marketing company and I were involved with so many nonprofit arts organizations. And I received a phone call from Celeste Wilson at the Arts and Business Council inviting us to consider a contribution of some way, some kind of volunteer effort to support arts organizations in Greater Boston. It made perfect sense for me to do that, not only based on our experience working with nonprofit organizations who are mostly in the arts, but also because of a deeply held belief that the arts are the aorta, the lifeblood of the community, and without art and without these wonderful contributing organizations, the community is not quite as rich, is not poised to grow and to articulate its strength in quite the same ways. So I had a visit over to the Arts and Business Council, and I learned that many of the business volunteers were in financial or legal kinds of realms, and that they hadn't had an animal quite like me before, a graphic design marketing person, and that in fact nonprofit arts organizations really do need to wrestle with their image, with the way they present themselves to their many communities, with their marketing messages. Often these organizations are handicapped in a way by not really grappling with the whole issue of brand. And because there are so many organizations competing for audience and competing for financial support, and in fact competing for survival these days, it's so important to get smart and line up the branding ducks very smart, very adroitly. So we underwent, I think it was a several session long training program under the BVA umbrella, in which we learned about governance, about finance, about the legal ramifications of being part of a nonprofit organization from the inside as opposed to from the outside. And there was coursework, and there were handouts and lots of things to learn from people who run nonprofit arts organizations and people who work for them. At the end of the session, we had this big graduation party. Some of us went off to become board members, contributing board members. As a matter of fact, I did. I hooked up through the through the Arts and Business Council with Revels, and became a very, very happy and satisfied contributing board member for Revels. And I was also assigned to link up with one organization who at the time had a very, very strong need to develop a new brand. They really didn't have much. Their founding director, actually I think it was something like a daughter or a niece, had scribbled something, the old cliche, had scribbled something on a cocktail napkin, and that became the logo. And here was an organization looking to attract new audiences, new supporters, new funders, and their image was pretty underdeveloped. So we got involved with that organization and not only developed one brand, but two. It was a sort of twofer, because when we came in to show, when it was time to show logos, there were two that kind of stayed on the table, and they said, "Oh, is there any way we could have both?" And in fact, there were two sides of this organization, and they have used both, so very happily. It was a good success story. After that, we received an invitation to help a struggling organization out with sort of very big picture identity issues. Who are we? How do we position ourselves in the community? And how in the world are we going to grow this organization, both from a personnel standpoint, from an awareness standpoint, perception, but also what if we set out on a path toward partnering so that within a certain period of time, people will know us well enough that we can actually hold ourselves out and become a bigger organization by joining forces. So we help them define a whole marketing business strategy, which was lots of fun and very rewarding.